In this video, we're going to be looking at trigonometric equations and identities. The first question, find all values of theta in the interval 0 to 360 degrees, for which 5 sine squared theta minus 1 equals 0. So we're just going to add 1 to both sides, divide by 5 to get sine squared theta by itself. So sine squared theta. So add 1 to both sides and then divide by 5. So sine squared theta is a fifth. We want to get theta by itself, so we need to square root both sides. Sine squared theta is the same as saying sine theta squared. So to get rid of a square, we square root. So sine theta is going to be plus or minus the square root of a fifth. So we've got two different answers for sine theta here, and we're going to get different answers for both of them. So either positive square root of a fifth, or it's negative square root of a fifth. So let's type them both into the calculator. So shift sine square root of 1/5. So 26.6 is our first answer there. With sine, to get the second answer, it's 180 minus the first answer, 153.4 degrees. For negative square root of fifth, so shift sine negative square root of 1/5, we get negative 26.6. We're not going to want that answer. It's not between 0 and 360. But let's do 180 minus the first answer to get the second answer, which is 206.6. We do want that one. And the other one will be negative 26.6 plus 360. So negative 26.6 plus 360 is 333.4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers. One for you to try. Pause the video. Give it a go. Find all values of theta in the interval 0 to 360 degrees, for which 4 cos squared theta equals 1. So divide both sides by 4 and square root. So we're going to get cos theta is the positive square root of a quarter, or cos theta is the negative square root of 1/4. Shift cos square root 1/4. So the positive square root gives us 60 degrees. With cos, to get the second answer, 360 minus the first answer, so 60 and 300. For the negative square root of a quarter, we're going to get 120 degrees. And again, 360 minus the first answer for cos is 240. So there we have 4 answers. Find all values of theta in the interval 0 to 360 degrees again, for which 3 cos squared theta minus 2 cos theta equals 0. This is a quadratic, and it's equal to 0. We can solve it by factorizing. So they've both got cos theta in them. Both terms have got cos theta in them. So I can take that to the outside. So cos theta times 3 cos theta makes 3 cos squared theta. And cos theta times 2 is going to make 2 cos theta. So now we've factorized either the first part, cos theta, is equal to 0, either cos theta equals 0, or the second part, 3 cos theta minus 2 equals 0. So once we factorize a quadratic, either one of the two things we've got multiplied together has to equal 0. So if 3 cos theta minus 2 equals 0, plus 2 to both sides, divide by 3, cos theta would have to be 2/3. So we've either got cos theta equals 0 or cos theta equals 2/3. So let's shift cos 0, which gives us 90. And for cos, the second answer is 360. Take away the first answer, which is 270 degrees. For 2/3, shift cos 2/3, 48.2. Second answer for cos is 360 minus the first answer. You can draw out the cast diagram every time, but you don't have to. You can just remember 360 minus answer for cos. 311.8. So we've got our 4 answers. One for you to try. Give it a go. So find all the values of theta in the interval 0 to 360 degrees, for which tan squared theta minus 4 tan theta equals 0. So let's factorize again. So tan theta on the outside, tan theta minus 4 on the inside. So either tan theta is 0 or tan theta minus 4 equals 0, which will get us to tan theta equals 4. So shift tan 0, which is 0, and tan repeats every 180 degrees. So add on 180, add on 180 again. And the range we want is inclusive of 0 and 360. So we've got 3 answers for that. Then shift tan 4, 76.0. And again, tan repeats every 180 degrees. So add on 180, 256.0. So there we have 5 answers. Another one, find all values of theta in the interval 0 to 360 degrees, for which 3 cos squared theta plus 11 sine theta minus 9 equals 0. So this time we've got a cos and a sine. We don't want that, we can't factorize that. But we can change the cos squared theta into a sine squared theta. So cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. So cos squared theta is the same as 1 minus sine squared theta. So I can change cos squared theta into 1 minus sine squared theta. So that's going to be 3 times 1 minus sine squared theta plus 11 sine theta minus 9 equals 0. Expand the bracket. So 3 minus 3 sine squared theta plus 11 sine theta minus 9 equals 0. Collect the like terms. So we've got minus 3 sine squared theta plus 11 sine theta. And we've got 3 minus 9 minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to multiply through by -1, make the sine squared theta positive. And now I'm going to factorize. So a times c, 3 6s are 18. So what multiplies to make 18 and adds to make an 11? It's 9 and 2. So I'm going to change it to minus 9 sine theta minus 2 sine theta. And then I'm going to put it into the double brackets. So what can I take out of 3 sine squared theta and 9 sine theta? That'd be 3 sine theta. 3 sine theta times sine theta makes 3 sine squared theta. 3 sine theta times negative 3 makes negative 9 sine theta. And then negative 2 times sine theta is negative 2 sine theta. And negative 2 times negative 3 is the positive 6. So here we've got sine theta can either be 2/3 or sine theta could be 3. That's what makes the first bracket 0, and that's what makes the second bracket 0. Now, one of these is going to give me no solutions. So sine theta cannot equal 3. It's got to be between 1 and negative 1. So this is going to have no solutions. The 2/3 will give me solutions though. So shift sine 2/3. Shift sine 2/3. 41.8. So theta is 41.8 degrees. And for sine, the second answer is 180 minus the first answer, 138.2. One for you to try. Pause the video and give it a go. So find the values for theta again in the interval 0 to 360 again, for which 4 sine squared theta plus 3 cos theta minus 2 equals 0. So again, we've got sines and coses in the same question. We don't want that. We want to make it all sine or all cos. So let's change sine squared theta into 1 minus cos squared theta. So 4 times 1 minus cos squared theta plus 7 cos theta minus 2 equals 0. Expand the bracket. And collect the like terms. So we've got minus 4 cos squared theta plus 7 cos theta plus 2 equals 0. Again, I'm going to make my cos squared theta term positive. I'm going to change all of the signs. A times c, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. How can I make what multiplies to make negative 8 and adds to make negative 7? It's going to be 8 and 1. So plus 1 cos theta minus 8 cos thetas. I'm into the double brackets. I can take cos theta out the first two terms. Cos theta times 4 cos theta makes 4 cos squared theta. Cos theta times 1 is cos theta. And then negative 2 times 4 will be my negative 8. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So what makes the first bracket 0? Cos theta would have to be 2. That's going to have no solutions. Again, same as sine. Cos theta has to be between 1 and negative 1. Second bracket, cos theta would be minus a quarter. So shift cos negative 1 quarter, 104.5. And 360 minus the first answer, 255.5. Find all values of theta in the interval negative 180 degrees to 180 degrees. for which 3 sine theta equals tan theta. So this time I've got a sine and a tan. I want to get rid of the tan, and I can change tan into sine over cos. So let's do that. Sine theta over cos theta. Then get rid of the fraction, times both sides by cos theta. So 3 sine theta cos theta equals sine theta. Make it equal to 0. 3 sine theta cos theta minus sine theta equals 0. And factorize out the sine theta. So sine theta times 3 cos theta minus 1 equals 0. So either sine theta equals 0 or 3 cos theta minus 1 equals 0. So plus 1 divided by 3, cos theta would be a third. Shift sine 0, which will be 0. And then we can have 0. 180 minus the first answer is 180. And then we could also have negative 180. So if you take 360 away from 180, we go back to 180. The sine graph is at 0 every 180 degrees. Shift cos a third is 70.5. The second answer for cos is 360 minus the first answer. That's 289.5. We don't want that one. So take 360 away from it, and we'll have negative 70.5. So we want those 5 answers this time. One for you to try. Pause the video and give it a go. Find all values of theta in the interval negative 180 to 180, for which 2 cos 2 theta equals 3 tan 2 theta. So we're going to change tan theta into sine theta over cos theta. It doesn't matter that the angle's 2 theta. Tan 2 theta equals sine 2 theta over cos 2 theta. Whatever that angle is, the identity works. And then we'll times both sides by cos theta, and we'll get 2 cos squared 2 theta equals 3 sine 2 theta. We've got sines and coses. This time we're going to need to change cos into sine using the sine squared plus cos squared equals 1. So it's going to be 2 times 1 minus sine squared 2 theta equals 3 sine 2 theta. So that's 2 minus 2 sine squared 2 theta equals 3 sine 2 theta. And then make it equal to 0 because it's a quadratic. We're going to have, I'm bringing everything to the right side. So 2 sine squared 2 theta plus 3 sine 2 theta minus 2 equals 0. A times C is negative 4. What multiplies to make negative 4 and adds to make 3? Shouldn't have done the brackets just yet. So it's 4 and 1. So it's plus sine 2 theta minus 4 sine, no, minus sine 2 theta plus 4 sine 2 theta. Then we go into the brackets. And what can come out the first two terms? That's sine 2 theta. Sine 2 theta times 2 sine 2 theta makes 2 sine squared 2 theta. Sine 2 theta times negative 1 makes negative sine 2 theta. And then 2 times 2 sine 2 theta is 4 sine 2 theta, and 2 negative ones are negative 2. So sine 2 theta equals negative 2, which it can't. Or sine 2 theta equals a half, which it can. So we'll shift sine a half, which is 30 degrees. So 2 theta equals 30, or 180 minus the first answer, 150. We want all the answers between negative 180 and 180. So when we half them, they've got to be between negative 180 and 180. So we want between negative 360 and 360. So let's go back. So take 360 away from both of these. So 30 minus 360 is negative 330. And 150 minus 360 is negative 210. So now we're going to half all the answers. So 15 degrees, 75 degrees, negative 165 degrees, and negative 105 degrees. So they are our 4 answers.